Okay, progress update on the YUR reader. This right here is the old logics behind the first iteration that I had worked on. In a nutshell, this part right here handles the connections, and then this entire stepladder approach was how to handle the comma separated variables in the system. This approach unfortunately meant as I want to add variables, I'd have to add another rung to the stepladder, and that would be very annoying. So, needless to say, I knew someday I was going to have to rewrite all of this. And in fact, that is exactly what I did here. So, this right here is the entire redo of that same exact system. You still have the same little connection spot right there. That really hasn't changed all too much. But what has changed is this part right here. This is a dedicated comma separated variable reader. And in a nutshell, it simply says, hey, find the first comma and then spit out that string. And then over here, we have a list of dynamic variables that we then decide how we want to assign it. The only reason I have this mangled mess over here is because one of the variables is estimate, is a Boolean, and the rest are integers. So I needed something to act as an exception in case we were reading a Boolean value to make sure to write it as a dynamic bool. Otherwise, it would have just caused an entire mess. Needless to say, this has been working out fine. I recently added over here the ability to see the experience values. And that has allowed me to work on this. This is the updated version of my little name tag example, and it is far, far cleaner than the first version. The first version actually contained that entire setup over there, in addition to all this formatting stuff. And now with this, I can just grab this over here, I now have a little bar graph displayed below, which is related to your YUR level. And it will now go through the three numerics I have right now, which is your current level, how many calories you've burned for this current session, and how many squats have been performed. So, for example, if I stand up and I go ahead and do 1 squat, 2 squat, and it kicks over, I do a third one. So it updates pretty quickly. Heart rate data is always carried over. There is a check to see if it is the estimated or if it's based off of an actual device gathering your heart rate information. I am planning to expand this to have additional variables. For example, there is the hex code for the current ranking color that I can put into here, and that means that instead of this always being red, it can actually be based off of your current ranking. So if I recall straight, the first set is like white, the next set is green, the next set is blue, and so on. That can be pulled over into here and then brought in for formatting purposes. Otherwise, that is all I currently have. I am still tweaking this as I go along, and we'll see what happens.